Scaloni. Welcome to today's episode of Empowering You. If you remember, a number of years ago, I had a show called Empowering Women where one of my guests was Tanya Cheney that bought a castle in New Eagle, Pennsylvania. Here we are, 3 years later. We are actually on location at Tanya's castle in New Eagle, Pennsylvania. I can't wait for you to hear the story about how she bought the castle, the history, and see the castle for yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm here at the New Eagle Castle in New Eagle, Pennsylvania, with my friend Tanya Cheney, who is part of the Cheney family that owns the New Eagle Castle. Tanya, thank you so much for inviting us here and letting us see your beautiful castle.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I know you were on my show, Empowering Women, 3 years ago.
Wow, 3 years ago?
3 years ago, because you had just bought the castle then.
All right, okay.
And you told the story about how you were even interested in buying a castle, because I have to tell you, none of my other friends own castles.
It's not very common.
It's not very common. So why did you want to buy a castle?
Well, I didn't know that I wanted to buy a castle until I found out that it existed. And then once I knew about it, I became infatuated with it and I needed to buy it. So I followed the story. It had been up for sale and I followed it and then it went off the market and then I lost track of it and then it went up for tax sale and we went out the next day and we bought it.
So can you give us a little bit of history of the castle? We're sitting in front of the castle right now, but can you give us just a little bit of history? When was it built?
Sure
Why
thing.
was it built? Why was it built in New Eagle? There's
I
so many
think I
questions.
have answers to most of those
Okay.
questions. So it was built in 1997. Construction started in 1997 and construction halted in 1998.
Okay.
The exterior was finished. The interior was never done. It was built by Kenneth Neff, who is part of the Neff family who grew up on this property.
Okay.
He grew up in the Cape Cod, which is just here in front of the castle. He moved off to New York City. He became wildly successful. He and his partner would come and visit Mom here on the property in New Eagle. And they decided that they wanted to build a summer home so that they could come and visit. And what's better than a castle?
Nothing is better than a castle, really. So how big is the castle? I mean, we're sitting in front of it, so it's hard to tell, but do you know how large the castle is?
On rough estimation, there's about 4,500 total square feet.
Okay, so that's a large.
It's pretty large. We have the blueprints. The blueprints were actually left in our house. We found them when we were renovating, so we have a good idea of what they wanted to do with the structure and where it was headed and where it fell short in a couple different areas. So that's how I was able to calculate the square footage because I don't have a tape measure long enough to do this.
Right, right. So you said they started in 1997 and then they stopped in 1998. Do you know why they stopped?
Yeah, so Kenny had a partner and he and his partner were the ones building the structure and the inspiration, the motivation behind this castle was really the partner.
Okay.
And sadly, and I believe unexpectedly, the partner died in 1998.
Oh my goodness.
And being heartbroken and just without a cause.
Didn't want anything to do with it.
Correct, he just stopped all construction.
So what happened? In 1998, so construction stopped, it just sat? That was it?
It sat, the whole property sat. I believe the mother lived here for a while longer, and she eventually went into a nursing home.
Sure.
And after that, it just sat and ruined, and then it eventually went up for tax sale after his death.
So no one owned it between him and you?
Well, he owned it consistently
Right.
until then, but yes. I believe that the Neff family, I'm going to do more research, but I believe the Neff family were the original owners of this property.
Okay.
So I believe we're the second owners, which I'll find out more.
Yeah. So that was 3 years ago when you bought the castle.
Right.
Did you have any idea what you were going to do with the castle?
Spend lots of time and money. Like that's about what I had. And we had some ideas with plans. So my dream ultimately was to be a wedding venue, which we turned into quicker than I expected. We've had lots of beautiful ceremonies on this staircase. COVID brought us a whole new twist. It made outside venues cool and
right.
the only thing that was acceptable.
Right.
So we had a lot of wedding venues or wedding ceremonies this summer. We had actually planned, Mike and I had planned to do a lot of renovation on the castle this summer. This was going to be our building year. Foundation work, roofing, construction, structural, just really getting it done. We were going to close down for the whole year to all public events. And we went into COVID, so we put our financing on hold,
Sure.
and construction stopped. And as we were coming out of quarantine, we were going to start moving ahead with our financing again and calling the contractors back. But this interesting thing happened. All of the brides started to call because they didn't have the venue. And I said to Mike, I think we need to stop and pivot. I think this is what we need to do this year. So we had a lot of ceremonies. We had a full wedding reception. We held concerts here this year because
I saw that.
Monongahela usually does a great concert series, and we enjoy it. And they got shut down because their venue was too large. So we held small concerts here on the lawn, and it was great entertainment for ourselves and family and the neighbors. And we had people coming in from out of state who saw it on Eventbrite. So it was really, really a nice, interesting, cool collection of people.
Rainbow, I shine down on my won't see with you when she's dead under my colors. So in life ain't always what you think it ought to be. Ain't even great, but she buries a baby. Sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time.
That's great that you're able to do that with COVID. It just worked out.
COVID really opened up opportunities for us that we didn't previously have.
Right. And this isn't your full-time thing.
Oh gosh, no.
You have another full-time job, don't you?
I do. I'm a massage therapist by trade. I've been a massage therapist for 20 years. I own and operate the salon and spa by Cheney's Natural Monongahela. Staff of 5 plus myself. So that keeps me busy full-time plus. And of course, a 12-year-old child who's active and a husband who does a lot of things. And so this is our side hustle. This is our hobby for now.
Well, what have you done since you bought the castle?
Well, what we've done to the structure, we haven't done much to the actual structure. We did paint these doors, and these doors have become the icon of the castle. People
It's
come.
beautiful.
Thank you. People come and get photos taken all the time. Family photo shoots, wedding photo shoots. I see my door on Facebook more often than I probably should, and I recognize it as my front door. We've done a lot of upkeep to the property. So we've done some landscaping projects. We've leveled out some places. We've gotten some hardy landscape in place. We haven't done anything to the structure yet because we have to work on the foundation first. So hopefully that'll be a winter project.
Well, as you said, it was just left. So nothing was done with it.
Absolutely. And the water, there's substantial water damage to one wall of our foundation, which will need to be repaired.
So on the property, there's a Cape Cod.
Yes.
Is that where you said the mother lived?
The family grew up, yes. The
Family
mother.
grew up there.
It's a 1951 turn of the century home.
Okay. All right. And then the castle.
The castle came in 97.
Right.
And around that same time frame, there was a double wide trailer placed on the property. And it got stoned to match the castle. So the double wide trailer looks a whole lot like a castle cottage.
It does.
Yeah.
Same stone.
Same stone.
And now you own that also.
We just acquired that this year, and that will become a part of our full range project. In my vision with birthday parties and weddings, that cottage will become part of the rental. So brides can sleep overnight, they can get ready there, they can have their honeymoon night there. Small birthday parties, and it's really like the party house that comes with the castle. And it's going to be ready a lot sooner than the castle is, so it just gives us more opportunities.
Right. So how much property is it?
Altogether, it's about 1.5 acres.
Okay. So that's a nice piece of property.
Lots of grass, lots of trees.
So what's the end goal? Like if I said to you, okay, anything could be done to it. Money's no object, time's no
Oh,
object. It could all
okay.
be done tomorrow. What is the end game? What would you want to do with the castle?
Indoor venue,
Indoor venue? Okay.
bed and breakfast space.
Okay.
I believe we can actually have 2 indoor event spaces there. Parking. I don't know where we create parking, but that's one of those projects that I just need a parking lot to come and plop in somewhere. But we manage the parking. Mike usually is my parking attendant. It's one of his jobs. So long range event center.
Event center.
So weddings, birthdays, baby showers, bridal showers, all kinds of things.
And this is in New Eagle, Pennsylvania,
New Eagle, little old New Eagle.
in the Mon Valley.
Yes.
And are there any other castles in the Mon Valley? I would think not.
There's actually one.
Okay, one castle.
It's called Vinosky Winery.
Okay, the winery.
The
Yes.
winery. So it's a house that looks a lot like a castle.
Okay.
with the round rooms and things like that.
Now, when you tell people that you own a castle, do they believe you? People that don't know you?
People that don't know me, I think they get that the whole like, what are you talking? Are you serious? Right.
Right.
But eventually, I show them a picture and they believe me. Yeah, I mean, because it is. How often do you meet somebody that owns a castle and just a normal person? Because I think I'm just a pretty normal person.
Right, right. Never. Like, besides you, I don't know. None of my friends have castles. None of them have castles.
Right.
Do people ask you, well, what makes it a castle? Thinking it's just a big house?
Oh no! Once they see the picture, they know.
Right.
Like, it's a castle.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was saying one time, oh, my friend owns a castle. Like, well, what makes it a castle? I was like, well, here, look. They're like, okay, it's a castle.
It looks like a castle. It's not a house that looks like a castle. It's a real castle.
It's a real castle.
Yeah, and I think when we do the interior renovations, that will help. We're going to try and draw on. I don't want to go straight medieval or anything too heavy, too harsh, but we're going to have different components of the design that will lend to its castleness.
Okay. So there's still a lot to do with the castle.
So all of it, yes. Essentially everything needs to be done except those front doors. Everything.
But that's okay because that's the focal point.
It is a focal point, and it's enjoyed by so many people.
Okay. So if someone, do you have people that come and take pictures in front of the castle?
Absolutely. We had a family from a local family who has a daughter that live in Alaska. They were just here last weekend. They were so sweet. She asked if she could take a brick or stone from the castle. We have some fallen stones, and I told her yes. Kind of an odd request. No one has asked to take a stone. But she told me that when she gets back to Alaska, she lives in Alaska and she was home visiting, they're collecting bricks and stones from all the places they visit to create a hearth behind their wood-burning fireplace.
Oh, how nice.
So I thought that's really, really super cool. And please send us a picture of that because I want to have that documented. So not only did she take a stone from the castle, but she also gave us full rights to come and visit anytime we'd like.
Well, that's nice. You have to go see that stone.
I'm going to have to go check out the stone. Make sure it's gotten a good home.
So I have to ask, because people are probably wondering, what did your husband say when you said you wanted to buy a castle?
Well, the first time or the second time? So the first
And
time.
he's watching. He's watching.
He's just off camera.
He's off camera watching because I was going to ask him that question, and he said, "Oh, just stay off camera."
Depends on what day you ask him that question.
That's what he said.
So the first time I went home and I had this big dreamt up plan of a castle, he kind of just shook his head and said, "You're crazy." Pretty much summed it up.
Right.
When it actually went up for sale and he came home and I said, the castle's, it's up for sale tomorrow. And he went, I guess we're going to do that. And we did. So the next day I went off to the auction and I bought it and I called him and he was a little less excited than I was initially, but I think he's
grown with the idea.
He's come into the vision.
Well, he probably thought, "Oh, it's an auction. You won't get it anyway. So go ahead."
Well, probably. He probably was.
Go ahead, you're not gonna
he was
get it.
probably hoping that we didn't get it.
Right.
But I think it all turned out for the good, for the best.
For the best. And you've done so much with it. Mm-hmm. And you have other plans to do with the castle.
Yes.
And we're going to have the information on there. People, you have a Facebook page for the castle.
Absolutely. New Eagle Castle on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. Now, you grew up in this area, didn't you?
I did. I grew up in Monessen, which is just across the river and down a bit.
So did you know about the castle before this? Did you know did anyone know about the castle?
I didn't know about this castle until, I want to say it was 2009 or 10. I had lived in New Eagle for a few years, and
Okay.
someone said to me something about the castle, and I did the what? What are you talking about? And they said, there's a castle in New Eagle. I said, New Eagle is not big enough
Right.
to have a castle.
Right.
New Eagle is 1.1 square miles. And
You would think people knew if there was a castle in New Eagle.
Right, but it's so well hidden. So, when I heard about this castle, the next day I thought, well, I'm going to go find it. And I drove by from the street and I could barely see it.
Right.
And then I Google mapped it. Google Map was a brand new thing at the time, and I figured out that I could get in a different way. So I kind of trespassed just a tiny bit. But I think the trespassing worked out.
It worked out okay.
It worked out okay, too.
Now, do you have people that trespass on your property?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. And that's, from the day we bought it, we've created our Facebook page. And if you read the very, very first post that we posted on Facebook way back in June of 2017, it said, we trespassed. We know that you're going to do it too. We welcome you to our property. You're always welcome to come up and say hi. Try not to come at night. This is a home. Just
Right.
be respectful of our place, our time, our people, our animals. Just be respectful. But we welcome people all the time. We like when they give us a heads up, but there's always people. There are always people on the property.
Again, there's not too many castles around.
No, it definitely draws attention.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. You know, I believe in this whole positive mindset, manifesting your reality. Like in
Absolutely. And
2000,
that's how I met you.
this is how we met through our mastermind group.
Yes.
I believe in manifesting your reality. If you want something, you have to say, like, I want this. This is how it's going to happen. You put it out in the universe. In 2010, when I had brought a real estate agent up here to look at the house, I stood over in front of this right tower over here, and I took a picture, and it said, "Standing in front of my future home."
I
And
remember that.
posted it on Facebook, and I didn't give it a whole lot of thought after that. But my friends knew I wanted this castle.
Right.
They all started asking me about the castle, so I became the castle expert, resident expert. So fast forward a few years, it goes up for tax sale. I didn't know it was on the tax docket. I did not know. And someone had posted it on Facebook, and no less than 5 or so of my friends tagged me that your castle is up for sale. That's how I found out. I found out at 9 o'clock the morning before, literally 22 hours before it went up for sale. I'm
Right.
sorry, it was 11 o'clock I found out. It went up for sale 9 o'clock the next morning. So I manifested this. If I hadn't posted that picture, my friends wouldn't have known, and then I wouldn't have known it went up for sale.
Right.
So just, things line up, and you just keep your thoughts positive and keep focusing on what you want, and eventually preparation and opportunity, right? Preparing for your future, and when the opportunity comes, you jump on it, and if the opportunity isn't there, you create it. So,
And that's why I wanted to check back with you. 2020, it has not been a very positive year for a lot of people.
correct.
So seeing something positive and seeing that dreams do come true
Yes.
is a
certainly.
great message.
Yeah, and even with COVID and all of the horrible things that have happened this year, it's been tough on a lot of people.
Right.
And a lot of businesses. And as a small business owner, I suffered a bit with that as well. But like I said, it's given us the opportunity to grow in ways that may not have happened otherwise. So again, taking the opportunity and turning it to your good.
Well, I look forward to seeing everything that you're going to do with the castle.
3 more years, this might be done.
3 more years.
What does
Okay.
Mike think about that? He's rubbing his head.
Yeah. Does your son and husband want to step in before we sign off here?
Do you guys want to step in?
So we can see the whole Cheney family?
They would like. Max is going to stop over, my son. Come on over around.
Just so we can get the whole Cheney family, because
We'll get
the whole family owns
the
the
whole
castle.
family's coming. That's correct. We all do our own. We all do a share of the work. So Mike is the groundskeeper and the brawn of the show. Max is the fly guy. He's the one that's always running to do the errands, and then I dream up the projects.
There you see, and it works, right?
Somehow it works.
As long as they do what I say.
Of course.
There has to be a queen.
Well, thank you, Cheney family, for inviting us here on location from your beautiful castle.
Thank you for
And I
coming.
wish you all the success and happy holidays, and can't wait to see what's in store for the castle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. Thank you for watching today's episode of Empowering You. I'd like to thank Tanya Cheney and the whole Cheney family for having us here at the New Eagle Castle. It's an amazing story how the Cheney family bought and maintained the New Eagle Castle. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.